He was saying like,
I'm gonna have some wax for him here. Let's see if you're gonna use it.
he was thinking about silver. I said like, no, silver medal. Get the gold medal. You know, you cannot like call your head silver.
Do you have superstition?
Me?
Yeah, when you fight or where you go on the podium or where you
Man,
wear.
I used to have, I used to like have a lot of superstition, but then as I got older, I stopped more and more and more.
Me too.
I stopped with new ones, but not as much as before. But I had a lot. Like until my beginning of my first like 4 years of black belt, I had so much. I was like kind of crazy, I think it was kind of like a mess with me, if I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Then
Like one thing that I always have that, like I need to step on the mat before the other person. like sometimes, what happened, the guy step before, I said, hey, I think your coach is calling you. And the guy come off and I point step in. I'm like, thank you. It was like, imagine if I fight, I don't know, like a Shanji. Hey Shanji, I think Saulo was calling you. And he's like, where is he? He's like, to step off the mat. As soon as he step in, I'm step my right foot in, I'm like, okay, now and the ref is like, get off. I'm like, okay, I'm get off. I'm like, even if I have to stop like just one toe there, I'm before the guy, It's a big superstition that I have. It was like.
And I had a period of time that I only fight with Leo Vieira's mother cut my hair. And you can see how this is not practical, Like they are my neighbors. But sometimes we travel and shit, and then she's not there to cut my hair. And then you start to thinking you're gonna lose, and nothing happens.
But you still like,
you just go there, fuck man.
When you think about that, on the back of your head, you think about that, It's like, that's like something that, some stuff that you can't control and then you do it, man, that's like, man, before like everything, when I was younger, everything had to be the same. The time of the traveling, the way that I wake up, everything that I do the same. Like orange juice and then bread with honey. It has to eat that before. And he's like, why you eat like orange juice and then honey bread? I don't know, man. It's supposed to give me power, but it's all in your head.
Yeah, I have one about my aunt. I have this old aunt what was really religious, and then she gave me the Psalm 90 one time, and then she said, one of the presidents survived to attempt to his life because he was reading that before, and then she handmade for me. She was 90 years old, and then like I start to read that and bring that to every tournament, and I start to break apart, and I could not go inside the mat without reading that. I feel very weird if I do so. One day I forgot my wallet, and I could not go in with that anymore, and short after that she ended up passing. And luckily I'm free of that. But sometimes I'm still trying to remembering the psalm, like before I go fight.
I honestly, like the superstition thing, I think for me, like for a long time, it was something that actually that bothered me, and then I tried to let it go, but then it begin new ones, And then one thing that I start to realize, when I went there, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wear any gear, I'm just gonna, do whatever. But I felt that I compete without care so much about losing. I don't know, and then I was thinking, man, it's because I'm not caring about the superstition, I'm not doing the things, I'm starting to not care about win or losing. And then, I kind of brought back, some old ones, and then that one that I said, to step on the mat first, it was some, that I have to do it, I think if you go to World Championship, you probably win one more. But I feel that it's not about how you train, I think the superstition, all of this is part, but I believe it's the desire, I think when you don't have, I think it's it's not important for you, you can't, you can't, it's gonna be someone that is so important for them, that even if you're much better than the person is still gonna beat you, That's one of the things that I realized, that sometimes oh, you compete, man. Another day I was talking to the guys and then I was training, and then Verdun's on the gym, man, we training, you competing or you going for a tournament, why you train so much? I'm like, I don't know. And then the guy's like, man, I think if you go to the Worlds, ADCC, you might win. I said, I might, but I might not, because I think because of lack of the importance will. And then the will of desire, I think when you kind of don't have that, it's better not do it, just if you feel, even if you feel good, you feel you good on the gym, you train with Philippe, with Ed, with Gabriel, those guys that that is my students that are on the prime. Even if I'm doing well with them, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna do well in the tournament. I believe if you don't have the mindset like I have to win. If you're like, okay, I'm just gonna go there, let's see how that goes, he's gonna have someone there that have more will than you.
But it's normal because like you went through a lot. You win a lot of tournaments in a lot of different situations. You decide to stop to compete and you decide to start to compete again. And it's different for sure. Like your first title, the need of that title is completely different than the need to your last title. You know, you settle in a way like we are getting a little bit younger for a little bit longer than these other guys. And it changes, you know, like, and this makes the difference because will makes a lot.
Yeah. The will, I think training, be healthy, all of this that counts, but the will is the count the most.
Sometimes I have 3 guys to fight on the open weight, right? So for some of my students that I have to choose who's gonna go. And then when I go to the best guy and then he said, yeah, I fight. And then I see the other guy said, no, I want to fight. Please, let me fight. I will fight. I don't care. That's the guy who has to go.
Yeah. So it's fun that you said that, you know, because that made me remember when Edwin won the Absolute as a purple belt. He was a featherweight, you know. It has the 3 guys. They have Gabriel, they have Edwin, and then they have my other student, Pedro. Now he's training with Draculino. Pedro is a heavyweight. Gabriel was a middleweight. And then Gabriel and Pedro had won the weight class, and Edwin had lost. So, you know, like those guys come in, I said, okay, who is the fight? Same thing, exactly the same thing. This guy's like, Romulo, I'll fight. And then Edwin come, please, let me fight because I don't want to leave here with the silver medal. I said, okay, you're the first choice. And the guy's like, featherweight, you know, how this guy's going to win? But just like you said, you know, his energy and his will that he showed. And then I go, okay, oh, my knees hurt. Okay, then go you. Then go you and, you know, and then was Pedro and then Edwin. But I knew that Pedro was satisfied. He could have won, but he was happy with the gold away, you know, which is not a bad thing. But Edwin, he wasn't, you know, he was satisfied. He has way more will, so he went there and then tapped the heavyweight champion, ultra heavyweight champion, medium heavyweight champion. He just tapped like 4 world champions in a, like 1 or 2 or 3 weight class above him with just will, because he was refusing to, you know, to live there with a, you know, a silver medal. So that counts a lot, you know. And then I remember I have a picture actually when it was right before I got on the mat. It was, I think, your last fight on the adult, you know. I was like, I was like, whoa, what is this really happening now, you know? Like, I was like, you were right by me, like right by me, like when you left the mat, you know. And then it's a tough decision to do it because, you know, like we make a decision, right? I don't know how you feel. Like when I make my decision, like I said, you know, like, okay, I think that is it, you know. But it was not a moment.
But that was a lot because of the injury too, right?
No, for me, like, for me, it was actually before the injury. It was in 2016. You know, like, the whole year, I was, you know, like, I was like thinking for me, I think it's time, you know, like the last thing is more important things for my life because probably the same, you know, like I live like when I started training Jiu-Jitsu until that year in order to compete on the worlds. Everything that was important, okay, the worlds is finished, okay, 365 days to get ready to the next world. And then I was away like with my family, with all the stuff, you know, that couldn't be the most important thing for me no more. So, you know, like the whole year I was preparing myself to do my last one. And then, you know, like obviously I compete and then, you know, like it wasn't because I win or I think if I have won, I have beat Law would be the same. And the next year, I wasn't planning to compete and then Philippe decided to do medium heavy. And then I was like, oh man, in my mind, what would be the best way to do it if I'm like a close out with one of my students? And then he wins the first world title and then I just leave. So that was to make me decide to, you know, to come back. Because I already have competed in 2 masters. I compete on the LA Grand Slam Master. I compete on the Gi Worlds Master on the same year. And then the next year, that's what they made me, you know, like decide to compete. And then I believe that was the last tournament that I compete with the Gi. You know, like I didn't fight any more tournaments after that, you know, like 2017.
You don't like to tap too much, right?
Not really. Unfortunately. You know, like, man, the thing is, the tap thing is like, I'm always like I think like I can go a little further. It's a stupid thing, you know. But honestly, On the foot, it was a different story, you know. Like it's actually a good thing to talk about too. On the knee, it just happened because on the knee, actually, I had the injury before. I had no ACL. I was competing with no ACL for like, I don't know, like 9 months. I tore my ACL like in the 2009, November 2009, and then the whole 2010 when I got hurt in the final, I was no ACL. When Tassis went for the sweep and then he put my leg, my knee, pop, my knee just popped out. And then all of a sudden, you know, he was pulling my leg here. And then I was like talking to Draco, you know, my knee's out. And then it was not like because I didn't want to tap. It was like, honestly, it was not even a position to tap, you know, because he put my leg and my knee popped out. If you see it on the end of like the position, you know, like it has no submission, you know, like.
Yeah, your knee opens.
Yeah, my knee opened. You know why? Because when he pulled and then I opened to try to defend my knee, whoop. Because every time that somebody, like for example, somebody shoot a single leg and then he was holding my hand when I was doing this, my knee was like, whap, and pop out. But that day, my knee popped out and then stayed. It was out, you know, that's why it was like this and he was pulling my leg that direction. But it was already out. That was like, oh, maybe it's going to pop out and pop in place, you know. But the foot, yeah, the foot I couldn't tap, you know, because the foot with Patrick, I was like, man, I'm winning. 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Felipe is gonna beat André Galvão like always he does, and then we're gonna go in the final. That was in my mind, you know. Like why I make a comeback is because of that. If it wasn't, obviously, if I knew it, Galvão was gonna win. You know, like Galvão is gonna go in the final, I would play different. You know, I would probably try to roll to defend. That's my first try because you know, like I look, if I roll 2 points, I can't roll off the mat. You know. If I roll off the mat, it's going to score 2 points, it's going to beat me. So I have to eat this full lock. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm eating the full lock. I didn't expect my foot pop it out, you know. I thought it was like, okay, it's popping, whatever. Ice and then legacy, world champion. Again, giving the title to my students. How can I tap on that? How can?
Oh, I feel you.
You would do the same.
Like I saw
You know, like-
I saw when Jacaré did that thing with Roger. I was there with him. And then, to be honest, I tried to do this with Roger one time, you know. The problem is I was already losing by 10-0 or something like that. And then it was like 10 seconds to the end and he got my arm and I said, you know what, I'm going to let him fuck me up. And then I said, why?
Yeah, no,
just to say don't tap to
Yeah,
him. So
no.
I already had that to him before. I said, you know what?
Yeah, that's a completely different situation. I would do the same, I would tap too.
But it's
You know?
like, it's amazing how all that information come to our head in,
Fast,
in a split second that you evaluate, should I let him pop? Should I resist? If he pop, I'm going to lose anyways. For what? For saying I don't tap the harder? Who cares? A loss is a loss.
I think that's one of the misunderstanding that people has, a lot of the people has on that full lock. People is like, what this guy tried to prove, you know, to not tap. Is he stupid? Now he's going to be 2 years off the mat, not training, not competing, you know, like because, you know, he wants to prove a point to not tap. No, it's not like that. Like I said, you know, if I was losing the fight, I would tap. Or, you know, like, why not? If you got me to tap, you know, like, I'm not going to hurt myself, you know. So that was not that. It's like the whole story that was playing on. That was actually good because people don't know that, but it's because of that, you know. In my mind, it was like, no way, you know, like, I'm not tapping. And then, honestly, if you go back on time and then I'm in the same situation, I will do the same. I will change the thing.
I will bet.
You know, like, because, you know, like, when that happened, all I care, like, this guy's come on the mat, this doctor, I'm like, I'm just told him leave. I'm okay. He's like, no, your foot is out place. I'm like, whatever. I don't want you here because now this referee see you here. They're going to remember only this, you know, they're going to forget about the fight. They only remember that, you know, like, they don't remember who fought better.
Yeah, I think that take away your chance because it was a draw.
Exactly.
The fight was a draw.
A draw. And then I have a submission too. You know,
if you had defend the foot instead of letting him pop, you might have won that fight. But that's way too much thing to evaluate in that split second.
The thing is, I didn't know that he attacked my foot twice. Because he attacked a foot and he let it go and he attacked again. I thought it was only once. The first one, I felt like people said he didn't feel nothing. I'm like, what do you mean? I felt burning from my back from that full lock. And it was burning like from here, from my leg. Of course I felt, you know. I can't show that I was feeling that, you know. So then he attacked and then he did again. So when the fight is over, I look and then I still have one advantage. And then I just see the ref is like, boom, he gave one more. And then I was like, when he gave one more, I was like a loud down like this. I'm like, my eyes this big. I'm like, oh my God. He just tied the fight right now. Why? And then, and then I asked Draculino, why he tied the fight? And Draculino told me right there, oh, he attacked a foot twice. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, he attacked, like, he attacked again. I was like, oh my God. And then they want to take me out the mat, like, oh, let's go. I'm like, let's go where? Is he still tied? They have still to decide, who won the fight. Because, honestly, I don't complain about this fight, but I still think that I won. I still think that I could have won, the Heifer decision. They could go both ways. He did the attack on the end, but the whole fight was my fight. And then the referee has to decide that, of course, I'm hurt. Of course, they're going to give it to him. But imagine if I wasn't hurt. Imagine if I just stood up that like nothing happened. Okay, bah! Okay, that played different. But then the foot came out, the doctors come in. This guy's like, okay, this guy just broke this guy's foot. Of course, it's going to
no chance to keep fighting. Or if Felipe was already on the final, might play a little bit different.
I think that...
I don't know if they think it that much ahead, the referees, but...
It was like a 2-1, like a 2-1, but, on the end of the day, I was like, man, you know what, whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think that's make a great comeback, even though the medal would be better, but show the bravery.
Like Draculino said, man, this is better than you have win. I said, okay, she'll say whatever.